You ever know someone that blames their cleaning, their organizing, their perfectionism on OCD? Oh, it's just my OCD. Oh, I'm just OCD. Almost like it's a badge, yeah, a certificate. They're proud of it. Well, it doesn't mean necessarily that they have obsessive compulsive personality disorder, but it's sure what it looks like. It's the right attitude. So I'm making this video because I do a lot of videos for you guys. You guys asked me to make videos about very manipulative people, personalities disorder people, cluster B, narcissistic, histrionic, borderline, sociopath, psychopath. But there's so much overlap in all the disorders that a lot of you guys are getting pinned on these disorders because it's what comes up when you look at manipulation and stuff like this. And it's not. All 10 could manipulate, are susceptible to manipulation, to neglecting you in relationships, to causing trauma, abuse, all kinds of things, okay? And there's so much overlap that a lot of the behaviors look like the others, or they could share common traits. So it can be very confusing. That's why I made this video. So I want to try to break this down real clear for you guys. Control and how obsessive compulsive manifests in people. Thoughts. Think of 4 different things. Thoughts. Thoughts can be obsessive. They can be ruminating, like us, like you guys might, some of you, a lot of you might be ruminating. That's obsessive thoughts, right? There's no solution. Why am I keep thinking? They keep coming back. I don't know why. 2, second one is behaviors. Compulsive behaviors. A very common compulsive behavior tied to depression would be compulsive shopping. Yeah. Shoppers want us, or grocery stores want us to do it and stuff because they have those impulsive items at the counter, at the register. But then you get into the disorders, mental illness, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. It's a disorder because it causes negative effects in your life. OCD has about 4 different types of obsessive compulsiveness, and it becomes thoughts or behaviors. Am I a good person? Light switch on and off, doorknobs turn 10 times before I go in every room. And it causes negative effects in their life, as you can just guess, can see. Difficult in controlling behaviors and thoughts. And the thoughts or the behaviors can be easier to treat than OCPD. OCPD, that's when you get into the personality disorder, you're talking about pervasive patterns in their life, everywhere, in different areas of their life. Could be in their job and their relationships at home. And it's very rigid, harder to treat, harder to see. Preoccupation with order, perfectionism, and control at the expense of flexibility, openness, and relationships. Very problematic. And this disorder can look a lot like borderline narcissistic, very much. I'll get into that. Obsessive compulsive personality disorder falls in the cluster C, which is considered worry, anxious, worrying. I'm going to get into the secondary diagnosis, common secondary diagnosis, if this is their primary, co-occurring diagnosis, and misdiagnosis. Anxiety disorders are very common. Worry, depression, PTSD, trauma history. Rigid rules can be defense mechanisms. Somatic complaints about their body, things that are wrong with them, or health anxiety. Am I sick? Is something wrong with me? It's that need for control constantly. So OCPD, loss of control. Now these are things they worry about. I just did a video last time about avoidant personality disorder, and they worry about things like humiliation, rejection, things like this. Intimacy. They worry about a loss of control, unpredictability, and chaos is terrifying. Imperfection, something they worry about. They find their identity in their career and things like this. And in imperfections, their identity can creep out, can crack. Moral failure, they can worry about. They're very black and white, right and wrong. Worry about being bad or maybe lazy, things like this. Image. They have a fear of dependence. Fear of depending and having to rely on somebody or being outdone by someone else, comparing themselves to others. Common misdiagnosis, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Comorbid or co-occurrence is not common, but what is common is to have situational type OCD type behaviors, incidences. So think of it as the stress, and they're always worrying, and it takes something like the loss of someone, and boom, boom, they might start checking their purse all the time, stuff like that. BPD is another common misdiagnosed because emotional reactions to stress, chaos, might have fear of abandonment, stuff like this. NPD, common misdiagnosis. They can look like narcissists, arrogant, judgmental, rigid, and they can look like they're lacking empathy, getting very annoyed with you. I can do it better than you. They can look like they have avoidant personality disorder, the video I just did last. That's if rigidity is tied to social discomfort. Being afraid of what other people think. Overly obsessed. Think of it like this. Sorry, I broke it down. OCD says, I hate this and I want to change. OCPD says, yeah, this is who I am. And if you can't keep up, that's your problem. So OCD is egocentric. It torments the person. OCPD is ego-dystonic. It torments everyone else. Personality disorder. So if I was to use an example, I would use the example of a boss, your manager, something like that. And say your boss washes her hands every hour, a lot, obsessively. And it's not needed. It's not in the food industry or something. And they admit it. Yeah, I wash it too much. I know my hands get so dry and they crack. And I just keep doing it. It's hard to stop. I get obsessed with it. Every little thing on my hands when I wash it. But you see, they identify it. Maybe they even go get therapy. They probably will stop the behavior. The OCPD boss is a drill sergeant. So strict and rigid and micromanaging that they might start losing employees. They might overwork themselves because they don't trust somebody else to do their job. I got it. And then they might sit back and say, after they lose employees and they're overworked, and they say, oh, my wife says I was a perfectionist. But everyone should try to be one, right? The OCPD employee may lose their job, may not be able to hold on to it very long. They don't like not being in control. Hard to keep a job. Self-employment works better for them. The OCD parent, rigid rules, schedules, routines, chores, no room for flexibility. High expectations, little emotional attunement, critical or shaming, delegation issue. Again, delegating issue. They don't trust anyone. They don't trust their children to even get their own things done for them. Watch it, I'll get it, I'll do it, I got it. Move out of the way. They can go two ways, the children of a parent of OCPD. The perfectionist, controlling, anxious overachiever, or rebel. Become defiant, reckless, running into other toxic relationships that are controlling them. But boomerang back home, dependency, lacking self-reliance. Can't be successful independently, can't be successful at home. Their image, someone that has OCPD, controlled presentation, everything very deliberate. From the hair, might be wrapped, tight, short, clean. Clothes, jewelry, makeup, appropriate. Nothing sloppy, nothing loose, nothing too bright. It's as if wherever they go, they already know the exact attire of how everyone dresses, even though they've never been there. Their career is their identity. They look neat and clean. Their home is neat and clean. Rules and organized, might be cold. The rules might outweigh the appearance of things. All fighting chaos inside. Their love relationships, intimacy. Well, they may avoid intimacy. They may be cold, rigid, robotic. They rarely admit they're the ones who can't tolerate change or unpredictability. Instead, they pin it on someone else. I had to do it for my child, or my child would freak out. I can't do it because my husband is controlling, when really it's them. They start great, but they're controlling their image and perception of them. They're perfect. That's what they're projecting. Perfect. Perfect career, perfect dress, perfect career, perfect mom, perfect. They may give you lots of compliments, gifts, favors, for sure, which turn to control. First, they are sweet and ask nicely. Then they tell you, never mind, I got it, get out of my way, I'll do it myself. So it looks like they're lacking empathy this way, right? Emotionally avoidant, things like this. Lacking intimacy, the emotional attunement. It's all control. Parenting, micromanaging. All looks like care. They might silent treatment you, ghost you, ignore you, gone, come back. But pursuing, let me say this clear, pursuing and obsessing and stalking manifest for different reasons across personality disorders, right? I could give examples, right? The borderline misses the part of their fragment of themselves that they had with you, and you leave them and they keep wanting you back, and they say they miss you, but really they don't. Across the board. OCPD is a pursuit perfection in their partner, projected onto a partner they idealize. And if that partner leaves before they can see all their imperfections, they freak out. That was their one thing. That was their idealized perfect person. And then they can't see their own imperfections because they projected perfectionism onto them. I showed them I was perfect. They are perfect. This doesn't make sense. I can't accept this. So they pursue, they stalk, and they keep controlling. They might even be sneaky about it. Sock puppet accounts. Sick. Sick, sick, sick. Don't ever, ever, ever contact people that are like that. Don't ever reply. Don't ever do anything. Let them waste their entire life. Do you see how close this looks to other disorders, specifically cluster B, specifically narcissism, borderline, things like this, isn't it? How many of you guys think that maybe the person you thought was a narcissist or borderline might actually have this disorder? And it could be comorbid. They could have both. All it takes is they meet the criteria, they have it. I'd love to hear your personal experiences. Please ask me. Please ask questions. Please share and ask questions. And thank you. Thank you for your thumbs up, for subscribing to the channel. If you want coaching, you can find me at daviddemars.com. Love yourself first, guys. Thanks.